I've eaten better street food in Mumbai than I have in Michelin-starred restaurants. Because when I've been to Michelin-starred restaurants, a lot of the time it's very disappointing. It's one-dimensional.
Chef Marco Pierre White, he's a rock star. The youngest chef to ever earn 3 Michelin stars. You ask anyone in the world of food and they know that Marco Pierre White's innovative spirit, unyielding passion and the devotion to the art of cooking have left an indelible mark on the culinary landscape of the world. Today, Marco has embraced simplicity and dedicated himself to mentoring the next generation, thus solidifying his legacy as an influential figure in the realm of fine dining.
For me, I believe in struggle. To be a true artist, you have to struggle. Without struggle, there's no appreciation and there's no creation.
Well, I am at the fabulous Four Seasons Hotel Mumbai, where Marco is doing a masterclass as well as a tasting menu for a select few. So let's chat with him, let's watch him cook, and then taste his food.
I don't think any country in the world understands and uses spice like the Indian cooks. The Indians, they understand their cuisine. It's if you look at the modern world, chefs around the world have turned a canopy party into a dinner party. The emphasis is on the presentation now, not the eating. Nice.
It's a pleasure to be around you.
It's very nice to be around you.
I've followed you and I cannot forget what you said in season 14, episode 34 of MasterChef. Someone who works with his fingers is a labourer.
Someone who works with their hands is a labourer. Someone who works with their hands and their brain is a craftsman, but someone who works with their hands, their brain and their heart is an artist. I'm very simple. I like simplicity. See, when you're born and I suppose my knowledge of life has been born out of nature. Because when I was a young boy, my mother died. So my childhood, it was about survival. It wasn't about education. So I turned to nature and I would say, thank you, Isha. I would say that my teacher was Mother Nature. In the end, she became my surrogate mother. And I think if you spend enough time with nature, she will teach you. And she will answer all your questions. Whatever complications you have in life, she will answer. I believe.
And do you sort of use this philosophy of nature even when it comes to the food?
I think, and I said yesterday when I did interviews, I believe I don't judge a cook by how many stars they have in Michelin.
Famously, you've returned your Michelin stars.
And for me, a great cook has 3 qualities. Firstly, he accepts and he respects that Mother Nature is the true artist. He's just the cook. Secondly, everything that he does becomes an extension of him or her. It comes from within.
Absolutely.
It comes through them.
Yes.
And thirdly, and most importantly, they give you great insight into the world they were born into, the world which inspired them, and they serve it on their plates. And that's what I believe great cooks all have in common. You've got cooks who win 3 stars in Michelin, but it's just recipes. It's formulated. It's conveyor belt cuisine. It's ABC, XYZ. There's no emotion. I walk into restaurants today with 2 and 3 stars in Michelin, and they lack romance. When I was a boy, those great temples of gastronomy were filled with romance. And the only thing that never dates in this world is romance.
Romance.
Everything else dates.
Romance and emotions of all kinds.
For me, when I eat, it's about the emotional impact food has on me. It doesn't have to be technically brilliant, because sometimes food that is technically brilliant is rather boring.
Yes.
But when a plate of food is filled with emotion, that's when you want to go back.
If you like onions, Be generous if you like garlic, be generous if you like chili, be generous. It's your palate at the end of the day, and that's what dictates. Who likes olive oil? I'm obsessed with it. I tend to use lots of it.
Do you have a relationship with Indian food? I know you're in England, and England has a history of Indian food.
We have a lot of Indian restaurants in England, and where I live there's a very good one. It was run by a very old man, and you walk in, you're stepping back in time, and really the menu is a journey of his life, which I think is rather beautiful. I don't think any country in the world understands and uses spice like the Indian cooks. The Indians, they understand their cuisine, and it's a very good cuisine. And I think on the world stage, it doesn't have the recognition it deserves, in my opinion.
Yet.
At this moment in time.
Yeah.
But it's slowly growing. Like in America now, you're starting to see Indian restaurants. In France, you're starting to see Indian restaurants where years ago you would never see them.
Never.
Because the French don't like spice.
True.
But they're starting to like it.
Do the French not like spice, or do they not like heat?
They're very gentle with it.
Okay.
They're like the English. We can take a lot of spice because India is part of our culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've eaten curries. Look, our number one dish in Britain is chicken tikka masala.
Yeah. Every Thursday at the pub. Yes.
I think it's 7 days a week, actually.
7 days a week now.
They're not very brave with spice, the French. I sit and look at the world of gastronomy and think of these small portions. Because when I walked into a restaurant, I want to smell food. You don't smell food anymore.
With India,
the combination of cold food in the West, yes, and air conditioning has taken the smell of food away. So I kind of like going to restaurants without air conditioning so I can smell the food. And when they put the food down in front of me, I want to feel the warmth on my face of hot food.
But you walk into any Indian restaurant or even a Chinese restaurant, you
smell it there.
Smells.
As long as they haven't got air conditioning. But they serve hot food.
Yeah.
They serve hot food.
Hot food.
And that's the secret. If you look at what's happening in the whole Michelin star in the world.
It's all cold food, isn't it?
Well, even the main course is cold now.
Yeah.
It's tepid.
And
because you watch them on TV, you go on Netflix and you watch them dressing plates, and they're so slow. They should just open a salad bar.
It's really, and this is a complaint that, slightly backward people like us always do. But why is the food cold? I know you're bringing fancy platters out like that.
I like basic food.
Yeah.
I like as I say, the more you do to food, the more you take away from it. I like simplicity. There's enough complication in my life, so why do I want it in the kitchen? As I always say to my chefs, emotions are for the bedroom, not the kitchen.
Not for the kitchen.
When my mother used to make pomodoro, she used to make it just with olive oil, onions, garlic, and tomato paste.
We've got a spaghetti pomodoro with a lobster in it, which you saw him make. Shall I start with the lobster? I think that's a better idea, no? So, sorry, I'm taking too long. Beautiful fragrance of olive oil. Tomatoes cook perfectly in them. Heirloom tomatoes. The spaghetti is completely al dente, beautifully done. And the lobster, which is fresh. How can it be so difficult to eat spaghetti, man? And I thought I was an expert. There has to be a difference when the man who's cooking is a renowned Michelin star chef with a reputation that is bigger than him. The difference between this and any other spaghetti that I've eaten is that there is a sense of home, there is a sense of warmth in this food. It's like it's come out of somebody's mother's kitchen and not out of a five-star hotel. And this is, I think, what he was trying to explain to us about the food that he cooks. just unbelievably fantastic. Coming for somebody who does not particularly like pasta, this is really good. So if I was to ask you the difference, and you've actually said it, is that food coming out of a recipe or food coming from the heart, from your experiences, from the family? How can you identify that this food is all heart, all emotion, whereas this is a bit...
You can taste it. It's if you look at the modern world, chefs around the world have turned a canopy party into a dinner party. They take little small portions and they take canopies and put them on plates and give you 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 of tepid food. How can something this size have a retention of heat? The emphasis is on the presentation now, not the eating. If I have a cup of coffee, which I like, or a cup of tea, once it loses its heat, I'm not interested anymore.
Yeah.
And food's the same. Food starts to die. Once it drops through your fingers onto the plate, it starts to die. And that's why it has to be delivered very quickly. So when I eat, I tend not to talk. It's me and I'm having my dinner now with my food.
With my food.
The people around me, they're an irrelevance for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want them to interrupt me. I just want to eat and indulge, because eating is all about indulgence.
It is.
It's about getting lost. It's like making love. The emotional impact should be enormous.
And you've had a lot of cooks who've worked under you who've gone all the way, haven't they?
Certain boys, yeah. But the truth is, that's their success. Please understand that I never won 3 stars in Michelin. I never won 3 stars. The young women and men behind me in the kitchen, they won the 3 stars, not me.
That's generous, but...
No, it's true. They were the orchestra. They created the symphony. I was just the composer and the conductor. They realized my dream. I made them believe in it. I was the Pied Piper, but in return, I showed them what was possible, and I gave them their dream. And it was for them to go on and to build a team around them that would win 3 stars for them.
So none could have managed without each other.
That's right. In the end, when you become a 3-star, yes, you touch a percentage of the food with your hands. You taste a percentage with your mouth. But you've also got to smell. You've got to listen.
Correct.
And you've got to watch.
Yes.
So from a distance, you've got to see whether that's correct or not correct. When you smell something, you've got to smell for the seasoning, because you can't taste everything. You can dip your finger in and taste it. But every so often there's that moment of magic, which happens very rarely in life. When you're cooking on the pass, you're serving the food, and a pearl of sweat drops off your forehead and hits the sauce. That's perfection. There's a piece of you, part of your DNA,
food
in there.
In Old Blighty, or in England, there's a saying which is, the proof of the beer batter prawns is in the eating. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Beer batter, obviously when somebody gives you a wedge of lime, you use it. Of course, it's the spice that the prawns have been marinated in, but it's the batter and the crustiness outside which makes this prawn what it is. Oh, it's just marvelous. Can you see the outer coating? You saw him how he made it. Beautiful. And now we know why the man is a legend. I was reading up and they said that now Chef Marco Pierre White is one of the biggest mentors that you could find.
I said this on MasterChef as well, sir. I said a story is more important than a recipe. A story can inspire you. A recipe can confuse you. This industry, the restaurant world, is a very beautiful world. But what makes it beautiful is not the 3-star chefs. They're only a small part of that picture. It's the coffee shops, it's the cafes, it's the backstreet restaurants, it's the street food. That's what makes a very rich and very beautiful jigsaw.
Yes, of course.
All those little pieces of magic. And those individuals who want to look down on the industry and think they're above it all, good luck to them.
Yeah.
They will miss out in life.
Yeah, they will miss out. They will not go anywhere after that.
I've eaten better street food in Mumbai than I have in Michelin-starred restaurants. Because when I've been to Michelin-starred restaurants, a lot of the time it's very disappointing. It's one-dimensional. It bores me. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't take me by the hand down a road I've never been down before. You know, the truth is we want to dream. We're all fantasists, really.
Correct.
And that's what food should do. It should be the emotional impact that hits us.
I will.
Which camera?
This camera.
Ah, there we are.
There we are.
Is he filming us or taking a picture of
No,
us?
he's filming.
I see. This
Yes.
is your
I thought,
TV show.
yeah, I thought we could say
You're
a
very
good
tall.
bye-bye. No, I look minuscule in front of you. Small.
No, I enjoyed my time with you.
And it was great fun. And I watched the master at work, doing those lovely prawns in Beer Batter.
I like prawns.
Yeah,
They're
so
very
do
good-
I.
They're very good prawns, actually.
Yeah. And they thoroughly enjoyed what was happening. I was watching.
They were laughing.
They were laughing, and you were great at, working a crowd, if I may say that.
You're very sharp. You know how to work a crowd. You're like a snake charmer.
Anyway, pleasure.
God bless, pleasure.
Thank you so
I'll pass
much.
across again one day.
Yep, absolutely.
God bless.
Take care. Bye-bye. See you.
Bye-bye.